Good morning, good morning, good morning, you guys. It's another beautiful, beautiful day. It is nice and clear today. It's not as cloudy as it was yesterday, where that haze was a little bit bright and crazy. But it's got a little bit of nice breeze to it. It's supposed to get a little warm, and it's looking like it's going to be a really beautiful, beautiful day. Man, yesterday whooped my butt. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of moving and grooving, and it was very frustrating yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm gonna have a bit of a story time with you guys. When you start ordering certain dimensions of lumber, and it's just like, I want it to be this one size, but I can't just buy that one size, because if I did, then it's just a ridiculous amount of money, to where it's like, dude, oh my goodness, just for this one piece. And it's like, I got multiple, so what I'm referring to is our fascias. If you've seen the last one, that's what we were going to be installing yesterday and all that stuff. And we did install quite a bit, but we unfortunately did not get all of it. And a lot of it, you'll understand why here in a little bit. But basically, I bought 8-inch by 16-foot fascia boards, and we painted them and got them all ready and all that stuff. That wasn't the issue. The issue is how wide they are. Now, normally whenever you go and buy any type of material, it isn't exactly said 8 inches. I was hoping that it was going to be like 7.25, maybe 7.5, and I'd roll with it. Well, it was exactly 8 inches. So I started doing all my measurements and trying to see exactly my overhang and my lip that I was going to have on my fascia everywhere. And come to find out, I was like, dude, this is going to be a nightmare if I don't rip them down. I mean, I guess I could have just rolled with it, but it's going to have like this huge overhang, from where the fascia is, and then it'd be this huge thing of fascia, and it's like, I've seen it like that a couple of times. It's not really the cleanest. I understand having a bit of an overhang, and I've seen that more common, but having such a huge overhang on it, it's like, man, or I should say reveal on it, I don't want to have 2 inches exposed on that lip. That's a bit of a length for it and everything else. So I was like, all right, well, I want it to have at least, 1/2 inch to 1 inch is where I'm looking at it. And I've never really installed any fascia. I've never done anything like that. So me trying to do stuff for the first time and all this aspect, and I'm trying not to screw up any of the angles or anything like that. I'm trying to get it to be, good. I decided in my mind, I was like, all right, I'm just going to rip off, 1.5 inches, and that will give me that 1/2 inch extra. And then if I need to pull it down another 1/2 inch anywhere, it should be below the roof line, and it shouldn't be messing up any of my drip edges and yada, 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 going down the line. And makes it to where now I have to rip all of those fascias down before I can even install them. So I went ahead and ripped them all yesterday, got them all situated, and then proceeded to start getting them cut and pieced and put into the place and everything. And it wasn't too bad for the front side. The front side is completely done. Now we're working on the gable end and coming into this back side. So it shouldn't be too crazy or anything else, now that I've got a lot of the rip angles done and everything else. And they were all fairly quick and easy on that side. This side should be a lot of full length 16-footers, to where we can tie in quite a bit in one go. So it should roll through pretty smoothly, at least from what I'm thinking or assuming, but we should be able to get things moving and grooving and get them up and going. It was definitely slow going yesterday though, and a lot of it was just because it's the first time of doing any of these things, you know, and I'm not trying to screw anything up. And of course, with these reveals and everything else, I'm going a little. I have another thing that I literally lost sleep over last night. I'm not gonna lie. It's daunting. But so my rake comes in, and then I've got my eave here, right? And there, I wanted them to be like that perfect match meat type thing, right? Well, I should have put in the rake first and then came in and did the eave, because now what is happening is my fascia on my rake side is like an inch. An inch below the bottom of it. So now I'm in my mind. Now I'm gonna need your guys' help with this. I'm debating in my mind. Just hear me out on this one, all right? I'm debating in my mind on just cutting it straight across and just saying screw it. That inch, that little, because it's like a tip, the tip of the fascia, right? It comes in like that at an angle. I'm gonna just cut that little clip and just make it straight, right across right there. Or this one's a little bit more of a, I don't know. I could pry back the fascia that I've already installed on the mudroom and on the house. Pry it back a little bit. Sawzall the nails that I already have fully adhered this thing to the subfascia completely. And of course I used ring shank nails because I'm me, and I didn't want this thing to pull out, especially with it having a gutter on it and all this other stuff. So I was like, okay, I want it to be adhered to this. So it's really on there. That's partly why I'm like thinking I'm just gonna shink, because I don't want to break this thing trying to pull this thing off. And I've only got to, if I can pull it away, a blade width apart of like a sawzall, I can get in there and chop those things off real quick. And they're really not that big lengths, or big of lengths. The two sides, both of them are 8 foot, and then the other side is just under 11 feet. So, I mean, they're all one piece, and it'd be 4 pieces that I have to remove and then match up to the rakes real quick and pop them in. And then everything would have that perfect miter point meeting aspect. But then again, it goes back down to the point of where I was at in the first place with the 8-inch. If I just left it at 8 inches and didn't rip it, and I put it all up there and left that big of a gap, which is now where I'm coming back down to this. I might just chop that thing right off. I mean, it's only like, if I put it this way, it's only like maybe an inch, maybe an inch and a half, you know, and then this side right here is probably about an inch, so it's like an inch, a little tiny bit of a triangle, just tink, chop that off and make it to where that's it, you know. And yeah, so I lost a lot of sleep over that last night, plus with a lot of stress over what we've got to go on and go get doing and everything else. We've got storms on the horizon that are coming, and I'm starting to feel it a little bit more. I'm stressing out quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I think I only slept for like 3 hours today, 4 hours today, or something like that. I'm a little sleep deprived, but I could not fall asleep for the life of me last night. I don't think I fell asleep until about like 4 almost. And then I woke up about 7, 8, yeah, it's so The stress is real, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna tackle it. We're gonna get it going. We're gonna get it to do what it needs to do. I'm not going to stress out over that bit just a little bit. I haven't gotten the drip edge on that side yet. I want to get all the fascia up, and the rakes are what I'm seeing that are going to be a little bit more of my, you know, I might adjust on my backside over here to where that's not like that. Now that I can see that that's how it's wanting to play with me and roll with me. So, yay. I might do this one. I might do the rakes a little backwards in that aspect of that, but I don't want it to have that crazy little pink, and I don't want to have to rip everything and move everything. Yeah. Yep. But then again, on this back deck side, it's going to be a lot more visible of that overhang. Ah! I'm glad I'm doing this real talk. I'm going to have Mel get this up. She's been editing all night. She's been having a sleepless night last night too. And she's finishing it up this morning, and I'm giving her this for real talk. And it's been a lot of moving and grooving and going on both ends. And oh, I need more coffee. And I need to get up there and get this thing going. But it's coming together pretty nice. It's definitely having the fascia up there. It does make it look a lot nicer to where it's like, oh, okay, things are starting to take shape, you know, especially when the fact that, you know, I've got 2x6s and 2x4s for my sub fascia, and things don't really line up and match one way or another, which is going to be a whole nother fun thing to have to tackle with the soffits. But I ain't even stressing or worrying about the soffit right now. I'm trying to prepare myself a little bit for it, but I ain't stressing or worrying about it too much right now. It's the one thing I've learned with what we are doing, though, is trying to prepare yourself for all of the aspects. Because there's always that one thing that you didn't think of, and it's like, man, what the heck? Why? Why are you... And a lot of the reason why, and I started thinking about it too, it might be 1.5 inches of an overhang lip. I'm going to measure it today and see exactly. Because my subfascias are either 2x4s or 2x6s, and just like I was saying before, if you buy said 2x4, 2x6s, they're not exactly 2 inches by 6 inches or 2 inches by 4 inches. They're 1.5 by 3.5 or 1.5 by 5.5. For those that know, they're probably like, get on with it. The others that don't know, it's true. Unless you're buying true 2x4s and 2x6s, then they're, yeah. Anyway, I have a feeling that itself made it to where it didn't want to line up, because everywhere I'm measuring is off of the subfascia, and where the rake comes into the eave, it does have a flat part, which is 1.5 inches before this angled part. So I have a feeling that 1.5 inches is what's hanging off from the subfascia meetings at the rake and the eave part. I have a feeling. But like I said, I've never done this stuff before. And I figure it out when I run into it, but you know what? Eventually, when it comes down to it, and I'm building my kids' houses and everything else, their houses will be better than mine, because I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. But anyway, you guys, I feel like talked enough for this real talk, and I need to get to work. I need to start cutting some angles, get my little templates cut, because I've got the 2 big sides of the rake ends to get on over to this big huge side, and I can't wait to get to this big huge side because it's all straight pieces and it's not angle cuts and everything else, and I've got a lot of angle cuts to do today. And I'm hoping that I can get all the drip edges in as well. I think today is going to be a work until dark kind of day, so we'll see how it goes today. Wish me luck, but I'm gonna get at it. So until the next one, you guys, I hope you guys have a good one, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.